Hey, what's going on, guys? Well, I'm doing another video just right after I finished filming my Cowboys victory recap against the Colts. I'm going to get into my Blu-ray haul that I did on Black Friday. Got at least close to 20 Blu-rays. A lot of films. Black Friday. Everything's cheaper than the normal price. So I figured I'd go ahead and get my Blu-ray fix and just since I haven't bought any Blu-rays for quite some time. Why not do it on Black Friday, where everything's, for the cheap, and the drill. Anyway, I'm going to start off with this movie. I saw this movie in theaters, definitely enjoyed the hell of it, and that's the Batman. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo. Got a good amount of features. You got over 2 hours of special features. You got deleted scenes, making of documentary, good amount of features on here, so glad that it has that. And Robert Pattinson, did a great job as Batman. Saw an IMAX, definitely worth every penny, seeing this movie in theaters. So glad to have it. And I already watched it with my mom. She actually enjoyed the film, just FYI. So this is the only film that I really opened and watched. So yeah, like I said before, worth every penny. Next up here is Blacklight with Liam Neeson. Didn't mind this movie. It's not his best film, but it was entertaining in parts. He had another movie I thought about maybe getting. It was called Memory or something. I can't even remember now. But it had no features. This at least has a couple things on here. So the other one was bare bones. So didn't mind the film. It was a decent little thriller. The next up, I did see this movie in theaters as well, and that's the horror film Black Phone with Ethan Hawke. You got a good amount of features. You got deleted scenes. You got behind the scenes stuff. Definitely got some good features on here for sure. And I thought Ethan Hawke did a good job. And the kid actor, I don't know his name. I guess I'll say it on here. Mason Thomas. He did a solid job in this movie, so I got to give him credit. So this was a good little horror film directed by Scott Derrickson, the guy that did Doctor Strange, the first one. Deliver Us from Evil, I heard was pretty good, but I haven't seen it yet. But I hear it's pretty good. And Hellraiser Inferno, such things. But yeah, good little film, worth the price I paid. So, and then next up, I definitely enjoyed this film for sure. Only saw it once, but it's the Baz Luhrmann bioepic film, Elvis, or musical biography, if you will say. It's got a good amount of features. You got the story of Elvis. I don't know if I see any deleted scenes, but it's got a fair amount of features, so yeah, there you go. Definitely like this. This film I never got a chance to see, and I keep hearing so many good things about it. And it's called Everything Everywhere All at Once. I keep hearing great things about it, so maybe that's a film that I should definitely check out. Whenever I have nothing better to do. You got a good amount of features. You got deleted scenes, outtakes, audio commentary, featurettes, the works. So yeah, good amount of features, and definitely gonna check this movie out sooner or later. So there you go. And surprisingly, I managed to check this movie out before it was yanked out, and that's the little thriller, low budget thriller called Fall. And didn't mind it. The lead character was okay. The lead character's friend was she's there, but she's not exactly a likable character. But you actually get a fair amount of features on here. You get a commentary. You have a making of. There's actually a music video, and there's a trailer. So not completely bare bones. You get a fair amount of features on here. The budget wasn't high from what I read, and from what I understood, I think the film was going to be rated R, but they cut some of the profanity out of it to make it PG-13. So sadly, you don't get an extended unrated cut, which would have been interesting, but I'm glad to have it for what it is, so, not completely empty-handed. Let me move these out of the way. Next up, I definitely saw this film in theaters last year. Definitely one of my, probably my favorite films of 2021. I know people are going to definitely disagree with me on that, and that's the Ghostbusters Afterlife, the third film in the original Ghostbusters franchise. You got a good amount of features on here. You got a deleted scene. I thought you would have more than that, but okay. You got Ghostbusters: A Look Back, and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely a worthy sequel, I think, in the Ghostbusters film. Not quite as good as the first two, but definitely way better than the pathetic and unneeded 2016 reboot. So definitely worth it. Glad to have it. Damn good movie. And also, I figured, you know what, I might as well go ahead and get this. Even if I wasn't the biggest fan of this movie, that's Halloween Kills. So you got two different versions of the film. You got an alternate ending, deleted extended scenes, some behind the scenes documentaries, stuff like that. At least you get two different versions of the film, so I can't complain about that. So you know what, might as well go ahead and get it. So there you go. And this, I honestly didn't have a problem with this movie. I know for whatever reason people didn't seem to like this I guess this, what you would call the sixth entry in the Jurassic Park, but I didn't mind it, and that's Jurassic Park Dominion. You got two different versions of the film. You got some, got a few documentaries, behind the scenes stuff, the works. So yeah, two different versions, and I definitely didn't mind this sequel. I mean, yeah, maybe it was maybe slow paced in certain areas, but you had the original cast back. Nobody, none of the cast. I'll just say this: spoilers. None of the original cast members die in this movie. So there you go. At least they don't get like the Luke Skywalker, Han Solo treatment in the Star Wars sequel trilogy. So yeah, I definitely thought this was a decent sequel. Not my favorite, but certainly not the worst. Next up, I can't remember if I ever had the Santa Claus movies films. Maybe I did, but I don't remember, and they're in storage. So I figured I'd go ahead and get all of them, and that includes all three of them, and that includes all the features too. For about $15 for all of them, that's not bad for three of them. So it's like $5 per Blu-ray. So you can't complain about that. So I'll take it, and it's Tim Allen. It's Tim the Toolman Taylor. What can you say? Next up, I did see this movie, and I definitely had some fun with this movie for sure, and that's the Nicolas Cage film, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Got a good amount of features. You got the behind-the-scenes stuff, deleted scenes. Can't go wrong with this movie. It's Nicolas fucking Cage. What can I say? You're Nick freaking Cage. My poor attempt at doing that. So yeah. But yeah, definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen it. I liked it. I liked enough to buy the movie. So there you go. And sorry, my nose decided to itch. And I got about, let's see, about 9 more Blu-rays. So here we go. This film I definitely saw in theaters. Didn't mind it. It's got some good action sequences, but the characters are kind of not the memorable, but it wasn't a horrible film, not the worst I've seen. And that's the film Ambulance. You have Jake Gyllenhaal, Yaha Abdul Mateen II, I guess, and then Isa Gonzalez. So yeah, it's not completely bare bones. You get some behind the scenes stuff, and it's Michael Bay. So not his worst directed movie. Good action sequences, but not his best film, but it's entertaining enough. So then next up, hopefully they don't fall. Next up, I have the film Dog, which I did see in theaters. I thought this was a nice, a fun, charming type of comedy. Some good dramatic moments. And I just realized this film doesn't have any special features. Wow. No features on this? This film did pretty good at the box office. No features? Are you kidding me? Damn, MGM, what the hell's wrong with you? No fucking features? That's pathetic. Seriously. That's fucking pathetic. No fucking special features. I didn't even realize that. No features. That's a little disappointing. Maybe I should have waited a little bit. But yeah, I like the film. Definitely worth getting if you like it, like I did. Kind of disappointed. I'm actually just now disappointed that there's no behind the scenes or any interviews with the actors or directors. No deleted scenes. Not even a fucking trailer. Are you kidding me? Come on, MGM, pull your head out of your fucking ass. Okay, next up, I did see this film. I thought it's okay. It's a bit slow in areas. It's I guess maybe that night I was trying to keep up and stay up, but anyway, so I said I didn't mind the film, and that's the remake of Dune. It's very, I'll say this, it's got some nice visuals for sure. And while I'm not the biggest fan of Jason Momoa, whatever you want to pronounce his name, he did a good job as Duncan. And I'm curious about part 2, since it's being adapted in that type of way. So hopefully it turns out good. And you got some special features here. You got behind the scenes stuff. I don't know what else is on there, but at least it's not bare bones like fucking Dog here. But anyways, I didn't mind the film. Definitely will check it out. Hopefully when I'm not as tired. But there you go. Next up here, not a bad film. I didn't mind it. It's not my favorite film, but it was definitely an interesting take on the whole, the Viking time period, and that's the film The Northman. And I'll say this, Alexander Skarsgård, pretty credible shape. You got to give credit to where credit's due, and he looks fantastic as the Viking. You got a very good supporting amount of actors. Yeah, they got the Viking time period pretty close, and yeah, you got a good amount of features. You got deleted scenes, behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, didn't mind the film. Not my cup of tea, but it's an interesting take on the whole Viking era back in the day. So can't complain. Worth giving a go if you haven't seen it. And believe it or not, I have never seen these movies before. Believe it or not, and I figured I'd go ahead and get them while I'm at it, since I don't feel like tracking down the DVDs. And that's the Saw 8 film collection that I have here. Apparently all the Saw films are in unrated format. I don't know if they have any special features. I'm assuming not, but it doesn't matter to me anyway. Because believe it or not, for these 8 movies, I only pay like $9 for this. That's not bad at all, all things considering. Could have been better if there were special features, but it wouldn't surprise me if there weren't, because you're getting 8 films on here. You can't complain about that. So definitely worth it for the Saw collection. I'll definitely give them a watch at some point, sometime next year, I guess. See what the films are like. And next up, I've been wanting to get this film for a while, but I felt like it deserved a better Blu-ray or whatever it was, and that's the film Last Action Hero. I got this one because this one has features, but I'm trying to determine if it's on the 4K or actually on the Blu-ray. It says special features. Okay, maybe they're on the Blu-ray. I don't know. But this has features, because the previous Blu-ray editions did not have features whatsoever, and I always felt like it deserved that at least. Yeah, it may not have been the biggest hit of Arnold's career, because it actually went up against Jurassic Park, the first one at the time. But I still liked it. I thought it was still an interesting take on fantasy and how a kid meets his hero, like a film within the film kind of type of thing. I think it was very creative in what it did. It was directed by John McTiernan, who did Predator, Hunt for Red October, Die Hard, and then the third Die Hard film. So it's got some really good action sequences in here, and it's fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, for crying out loud. Yeah, I know I'm not a fan of what he said about, screw your freedom, but his movie's still entertaining to this very day, so I can't complain. So it's The Last Action Hero. Fuck it, why not? Next up, I actually kind of liked this film because it was a different take on psychological horror, and the actress did a good job, and that's the film The Night House. It starred Rebecca Hall, and I think it was a very interesting take on how how one is dealing with the husband's death, and how it also throws in a supernatural element to it as well. I don't want to spoil the film, but I think the film did a solid job in that area. And Rebecca Hall was definitely, worth, buying this for, because she did a good job in her performance. So you got to give credit to where credit's due. So, and there's not much in features. There is a documentary. At least it's not completely bare bones. So, yeah, I think there's I guess it's an interview with the director, David Bruckner. So, yeah, good film, I think, and definitely should check it out. And next up, I know people are not fans of this movie. I didn't completely hate it. I thought it had some good action sequences, but, the ending, that's my issue with it, and that's the film No Time to Die. I figured I'd get it for the James Bond collection because I have all the previous films on Blu-ray. It was like a 50 film collection? I can't remember. It includes Spectre, so yeah. And is there features? Yeah, there's a few features. Could be a little more, but hey, it's Daniel Craig's last outing as Bond, so why not get it for that? So then next, no, not next, but the very final Blu-ray that I have, and I really enjoyed this movie for sure. I thought it was a good, fun sequel. It's Sonic 2. Let's see, you got some features, you got deleted scenes, probably stuff with behind the scenes stuff, you know, typical norm for a Blu-ray. But yeah, this was a fun sequel. Enjoyed the hell out of it. You got Tails, you got Knuckles. A fun, worthy sequel that's definitely worth buying and owning. So yeah, I enjoyed Sonic 2. I can't remember if I have Sonic 1. I think I bought it, but I'm not sure. But anyways, I'm glad to have the sequel. It's definitely worth every penny for sure. And that does it for my Blu-ray collection. Hopefully you like what you saw, and if you've seen the films, feel free to like, you know, comment, you know, like what what I showed off. You know, feel free to voice your opinions and thoughts, and you know, we'll go from there. Okay, that's going to do it for me. I guess I'll see you folks later in the other video, whichever that might be. All right, bye bye.